For example, here's this woman who was so upset that her child was vomiting and she had to pick him up because she was making OnlyFans content at the moment.
I am so pissy today. Just downright mother today. I had to come up here. I had to come up here at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. That's prime time. That's prime time, if you know what I mean. But I'm cranky because my child is 10. I had to come up to the school and I had to pick him up. Why? Why did I pick this kid up? I had to pick this kid up because he's a man, okay? He's a little man and he's got a weak stomach like most men do. He threw up not one time, not two times, but 3 times. I have to interrupt my day.
It's disappointing to see this perspective dismissing the genuine struggles of stay-at-home parents. The work of managing a household and caring for children is incredibly demanding and often undervalued. The sarcasm only serves to belittle those who choose or need to be full-time caregivers. It's essential to appreciate the effort and sacrifices involved in such roles instead of mocking them.
I don't think there's a problem with a woman choosing to dress modestly or a woman choosing to stay home with her children because that's how she feels the most fulfilled. I think the problem comes in when that's the type of woman a man is searching for, because usually they're doing that to search for somebody who they can be dominant over.
The idea that men seek out women who dress modestly or stay home to dominate them is a flawed and dismissive generalization. Choosing to dress modestly or stay home can be deeply personal and fulfilling, independent of someone's desire to control or dominate. It's crucial to respect individuals' choices without assuming ulterior motives or applying a one-size-fits-all narrative to their preferences.
I woke up extra early to prepare breakfast for my 455-month-old husband. I woke up at 3 a.m. to prepare a fresh loaf of bread. I just wanted to share with you how much better my life is than yours. Everything in this video is homemade and homegrown from our homestead farm. Looks like French toast is ready. Whoops, he sent me back because I'm a stupid girl who forgot that he likes his food in little pieces when he eats it in bed.
This sarcastic view misses the essence of traditional homemakers. Managing a home and caring for a family is a meaningful choice that contributes greatly to family well-being. It's not about being inferior, but about finding balance in roles. Waking up early to prepare meals or handle household tasks reflects dedication, not subservience. Every role in a partnership deserves respect and acknowledgement for its importance.
Okay, this time I have a beef with the male community. I give my criticisms to all because we are all about equity and inclusion here, right? So I'm sick and tired of all girls getting blamed, or like guys, certain guys, thinking that all girls are gold diggers. I don't know if it's because you get your information from those street interviews in like Miami at 3 a.m. outside of a nightclub. You're getting the opinion of some dumb whores and immigrants fresh off the boat looking for a green card. Yes, they are probably gold diggers, but that's the exception. I'm the rule. Everybody I know who's married right now, they're married to broke ass and they don't care. We don't give a about your money. I couldn't care less about your money, okay? My type is broke mechanics and surfer hippie dudes who just want to live in a shack and surf and have babies. All I ask of a man is that you're competent, you're not a... If somebody broke into our house at 3 a.m., you would know how to grab a gun and shoot them. That's pretty much all we ask. Like, that's pretty much like all girls I know. I don't know one girl who's a gold digger. So stop throwing us all under the bus as if we're all gold diggers, because we don't give a I don't give a about your money.
This rant is out of line. It's frustrating to hear all men get bashed based on stereotypes. Sure, not all women are gold diggers, but assuming all men think that way isn't fair either. There are shallow people on both sides. Instead of fueling division with broad stereotypes, let's focus on understanding and respect. This kind of negativity helps no one.
We live in a day and age where traditional homemaking has been forgotten about and even looked down on. Where women are fighting to be in the same positions as men, indoctrinated to focus more on their careers and less on the home.
These days, traditional homemaking gets a bad rap. but it still has its place. It's great that women are fighting for equal footing in the workplace, but we shouldn't forget the importance of home life. Being a homemaker is valuable too, offering stability and nurturing that a career-focused society often misses. With so many marriages falling apart, maybe it's because we've lost touch with those traditional family values. If we reconnect with those, we might see stronger family bonds and a more balanced society.
Ballerina Farm can do many of the same activities of the women that she tries to emulate, but she has no stakes, whereas most farmers and most women who are homemakers have a lot at stake. Why are there no stakes in her life? Because she married into the JetBlue family. This does not mean that her life isn't meaningful, and it doesn't mean that her life isn't difficult. It does mean that when people run to defend her and to say she's working very hard, they're running a farm, they're missing the point. The point is that, like many trad wives, her activities are not tied to direct financial stress. And when your activities are not tied to direct financial stress, even if the activities themselves are difficult, you are able to move through your day with more patience, with more benevolence, with all of the things that can make you a better mother, a better caregiver, and a better worker. Which means that you can often depict an activity or a lifestyle inaccurately because you are depicting it without all of the stress that any other average person would get saddled with if they made the same choices as you. So for example, just off the top of my head, if I were to buy like a 400-acre piece of land in Utah and I wanted to build a big cattle farm and start selling bread and aprons and I had no experience whatsoever, I would find that to be super stressful. How much money do I have to hold my family over before I have to start making a profit? Is there a risk of bankruptcy? How am I going to learn how to do all of this stuff when there is no room for error? Or, again, just off the top of my head, if I had access to like $100 million, I feel like a lot of that stress would go away. I'd have time. I'd have time to figure it out, time to make mistakes, time to try it out. I'd have a long runway before we had to profit. It is also important context for most successful businesses. And you have not just a safety net, but the equivalent of like a Series A fundraising round in your family. You have the ability to sleep well at night. You have the ability to do things that are often considered mundane or difficult, but with a much better psychological approach. You have the knowledge that your children are never going to go unfed. That is not something that most farmers in America can say. And again, saying it louder for the people in the back, it's not Ballerina Farm's job to talk about this. Her job is to be a brand. Her job, as she has made very clear, is to profit on Instagram. But it is worthwhile food for thought for all of the women who love to stand for her. I would also add that this is why I think it's like complete bullshit when highly wealthy people and influencers try to sell self-care to us. It should be considered hugely suspect, and it comes to me from like a very inauthentic place. So much of the stress and mental health issues that we have in this country have to do with financial struggle. And so if someone is talking to you about that and not including that as a central part of this conversation, then you should be hugely suspicious of their motive.
Criticizing Ballerina Farm and similar trad wives for their financial security misses the point. Running a farm and managing a household are demanding tasks, regardless of financial backing. It's unfair to dismiss their hard work because of their financial situation. Everyone faces unique challenges, and trad wives should be respected for their dedication and effort in their chosen lifestyle.
If your husband leaves you, you're going to be poor. You'll live in your car and you'll have no money for anything. You're being sold a lie right now all over the internet with these traditional housewife bullshit things. Yes, it's fun to have a man pay for your entire life, but in exchange, you have to wash his dirty socks, make sourdough bread from scratch, and run after his crying children. And you might be saying, well, I really want to do that. I would love a man to do that. I like the traditional gender roles. Do you not realize what happens if you don't have a career and you don't have a bank account once that man leaves? You are going to be 40 years old with no job, no money, and no skills. And then you have to rely on this man who currently wants to leave you, divorce you, and take everything to feed you, to give you some money, some alimony, some child support. He won't. You'll fight for it until the end of your days in court.
This anti-housewife rhetoric is infuriating. Traditional roles work for many people. Choosing to stay home doesn't mean losing independence. It's about partnership and mutual support. Not every woman who stays at home ends up helpless. Many build skills, manage households, and contribute in ways that go beyond a paycheck. Assuming that all traditional housewives are doomed if their husbands leave is just plain wrong. People have different paths, and one size doesn't fit all. Stop acting like everyone's situation is the same.
This framing that there are women who work and there are women who don't work because men have gifted them the opportunity to stay home and cook and clean for them, you're both working. It is fine to want to stay home and do those things, but that is not a gift of no labor.
You are both working, and when you're doing it exclusively in the home, you're working with no rights, no protection, no safety net. You're providing services that if you weren't around, that man would have to pay multiple professionals to get, because it's work, it's valuable work. But your job security in doing that is entirely contingent on that man deciding to keep you around. As your youth and your beauty, two things that are very protective of that job security, to a certain point, start to fade. Just because it feels fulfilling and free to not go to work every day does not mean you are free. And freedom from oppression is having choices. Without money coming in that is yours, if that relationship ends, your job ends. You'll have no money, you'll have no resume, you'll have no references, no roof over your head, no unemployment check. You will have no choices but to find another man to support you.
Dismissing stay-at-home women as powerless or dependent is short-sighted. Choosing to focus on home and family is a valid and fulfilling role. These women provide essential services that would be expensive otherwise. Many have partnerships built on mutual respect. Financial security and personal fulfillment don't just come from a paycheck, but from creating a loving, well-managed home.